Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Fantasy World Building. So, a couple of things before we get started. I've gotten together, unless my math is really just terrible, I think I've gotten together everything necessary to make this thing. Which, I had to look further through the codex for Embers, and it seems like this makes these. Well, one of these, and these are like actual power source. The actual power source for a lot of the machines. And I made this, and when you look at the Embers machines, it tells you that certain areas on them are Ember input, so yeah, that seems like that's the something we need to do, like, first off. And I mean, with the way the codex is set up, it kind of makes sense. It does mean that's about, yeah. And yeah, did get some more planted over there. I decided to move it out into the desert just because it was kind of getting in the way with building over here, and yeah, it's just going to be more convenient that way. But either way, that does mean that this is basically all the iron we've got for the moment, apart from this. I went scouting. I took the horse and went scouting with the prospector's pick out south and west into the desert, and mainly I was looking for diamonds, if possible. I didn't find any, but at some point I picked this up somehow. Like, this was on me when I got back, and I don't actually know where I got it or when. I mean, obviously out there somewhere, but I didn't really notice it. I did find a small dead dragon. It dropped that, and it only dropped one bone, so nothing much interesting. Other than that, I did actually go down into the mines, or down the mine shaft. It is now the mines, and did, well, one long tunnel that way, basically, and then pulled all of the resources out of it, where things are slightly overflowing, just a little bit. But on the bright side, we're not going to run out of copper or tin anytime soon. I feel like the drawbridges, the spawn rate for the drawbridges ores is just a little too high. I might need to tweak that. But I did, well, the two other things before we get into the episode. I made this discovery. I hadn't realized before. You can't make armor out of bronze, but you can make it out of silver, which is interesting. The other thing, and related to it, is I made another recipe for the hardened leather. Now, I made this before I realized that you could make armor out of silver, and I decided to use creosote and tallow. I did actually leave... No, I didn't. Wait, did I? No, I guess I didn't. Never mind. I did not leave the regular HarvestCraft recipe, but it was just this pressed wax and leather made the hardened leather, and the reason I made it more complicated is that this is fairly good armor. It's a fairly substantial upgrade to the regular leather, and wanting to use the tallow and other wax types as part of the recipe, like, in all of the recipes that we've added so far, the, tallow, beeswax, wax is all been interchangeable, basically. And kind of following along with that, kind of makes sense that they would all be interchangeable with this recipe, and if they are all interchangeable, then, I mean, that's a full suit of armor, and that's not hard to get. I mean, you just melt down rotten flesh. So, you know, that would be kind of, I felt a little bit too easy, so I made this recipe. The water is honestly more thematic than an actual resource sink. The creosote, I don't know, I guess it's the tannins. It's the only thing I could think of that makes even a vague bit of sense. I don't know. Although I'm now noticing that it doesn't seem to also have a recipe for creosote in a regular iron bucket. Is that? Did I mess that up? Oh no. Never mind. Either way, the point is, this armor, like, that's 6 for those, 5 for those, is... Oh, it's not. The leggings are 2 more here. Huh, so it's not quite exactly identical. Why is that? Why are the leggings 6 armor? That seems not correct. Is that supposed to be that way? Either way, having now noticed this, after having made these recipes, I kind of feel like this might be a little too expensive. But on the other hand, silver is not super duper common. Like, I think that's the only silver we've gotten. We did have the silver from Bewitchment, but having removed that... Yeah. Plus, silver is actually used in other things. Suppose it's not that many other things. Well, the thing is, I don't know how like difficult it is to acquire large quantities of creosote. That's going to be the main question as to whether or not that's too expensive. I built this and did this full thing of charcoal burning. I don't know how to tell how much is in this without just bucketing it all out. And haven't done that yet. So, I don't know. I feel like it might be fine, because as far as I'm aware, the only major thing that creosote is used for, at least currently, is fuel. And, I mean, that's not really a huge deal. So, yeah. There is enough leather here to make a full suit. We could potentially try it at least. I don't know. Either way, what I'd like to do this episode is get started, like actually properly, with embers. Hopefully, making this ember boar will be the thing. I think I'm going to take some of this just in case. I think this is basically all we needed. And... Oh, by the way, the cart did fix itself at some point. I'm not too sure what's going on there. It's probably not a good idea to leave the horse tethered to it for long periods of time. Like, I suspect what it probably is there's some kind of funkiness going on with it when it's... Oh dear. When the, when chunks unload and load, you know, maybe we should have left the cart. Literally, all we need... Actually, I'm going to just take everything. Okay, now, what we're going to do is head down into the mines, because the Ember Boar requires bedrock. Hopefully we can get down there before we actually freeze. Okie dokie. So, that right there is where I just mined. So, yeah, bedrock. This is Y11. Where's gonna be a good spot for this? I guess just... You know, the more I dig down here, the more I regret having just straight up removed Bewitchment as soon as I realized that it was a fabric mod. Probably shouldn't have done that, actually. Alright, now, we don't need something pretty, we just need it functional. Where is this? Now, we need one of these. Now the question. Can I remember how to do this? Alright. And then, we need copper. Ooh. Sure hope that's enough. Oh, but we need stairs. Is it just copper? Aha! Ooh. Can it just go anywhere? Okay, so that's input and output. Pulls items Ember out and inserts fuel. Can we just, like... it was worth a try. Kind of want to see what this looks like from other angles. Just out of curiosity. Whoa. Whoa! Well, that's dangerous looking. Cool. Okay, now is when we get out the codex and find out what. Let's see. Ember Boar must be fueled with normal furnace fuel items, and must be placed at a position where the blades of the boar can touch bedrock. When fueled, the boar will dig up ember crystals from deeper into the earth. Right. Hoppers and other item transporters must be used. Okay. Well, that's an issue. Does this look like... Does this look like it's... Like, what kind of position does this need to be in? 'Cause, like, if... Really was not expecting this to be quite so large. And, like, this is a pretty serious undertaking here. I would also expect something like this to actually be a multi-block structure, rather than a single block that you just place. It's very odd. Can we just... Now, how do we get it to go? Is this the kind of pump we need? Oh, gee, I sure hope not. That's fluid. It says mechanical pump, but these are fluid pipes. Why would it be using fluid pipes if it was for mechanical stuff? So I'm going to say no. Fluid extractor, item extractor. I'm gonna say, yeah. Mm-hmm. Good thing I thought to bring that. So, let's do it. That's not where I want it. Oh, I see. It's an actual... Do you need to... I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I think it worked. Now, how do we extract... Guess we'll have to reverse this. Is this really the only port? Does it do it automatically? No. There we go. I think it's probably safe to assume that the rates that you get per amount of fuel is higher the more bedrock you're dealing with. That's almost certain to be the case, right? So, like, that seems too far down. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, that's bottom bedrock. I don't know why, but that always makes me just a smidgen nervous. So, can I... No. It actually fills up the space. So, I'm seeing how to extract and how to insert, but how do you do both at the same time? Maybe these work like this. That's not good. Okay. Which is not how it works. Oh wait, that was still had... Still had one of those. So maybe that'll work. Okay. Didn't seem to increase the yield that much. That first one run was 3 fuel. Right. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to remember that, killing it with a pickaxe. I assumed this was something that you just craft. But no. To unclog a pipe, simply right-click it with a stick. So, smack it to make it work. Cool. Actually, hold on a second. We did the thing. We did the thing. Here we go. Here we go. The Ember Bore's excavation yields several curious growing crystals. These crystals come in several sizes, the larger Ember crystal and the smaller Ember shard. These crystals are clear evidence that the power of the core of the world both exists and can be indirectly tapped. Through the immolation of these crystals, you believe you may be able to activate power within them for other use. I'm going to check this. Fluid vessel bin. Okay. Did we get enough to be able to make one of these? I think it's that. Yes. The Ember Activator is an ingenious device, finally allowing you to extract usable energy from Ember crystals and shards. Simply insert said crystals and shards into the bottom of the device using a hop or other item transportation method, and soon, marked by a fiery burst, activated Ember will appear within the copper cage atop the machine. Ooh, is that, yes. Since we're just kind of testing this, I'm just going to tear this down and put it over here. Is that not the right spot? It should be. Maybe because it's... That doesn't seem to work. Oh, because it's trying to pull into it. Right, it's an extractor. So it's not directly... Okay. Cool. Now what? Pressure refinery? Mini boiler? That sounds dangerous. Ember is a highly energetic substance that produces heat both when consumed and when produced. It would be a shame to let that heat go to waste. By attaching this pressure vessel to the side of an ember-consuming or producing machine, you can boil water into steam for other purposes. But beware that at high pressures, the boiler can easily rupture. Yeah. While the activator can refine crystalline ember, it produces only a modest amount. The pressure refinery is a means of getting much higher yields per crystal. It requires both water and ember to be pumped into it, resulting in a default 1.5x yield from the activator. However, if placed on a metal block with lava or fire around it, it can reach up to 3 times yield depending on how many hot blocks there are around the base. Cool. And then there's this opened up. The actual manipulation of the ember you receive from your activator or other refineries involves 2 main blocks, the ember emitters and ember receptors. Emitters function as the sending end. Simply place them on a machine and they will suck out ember from the machine into their internal buffer. Then, when powered by redstone, they will periodically expel ember. Receptors function as the receiving end. When they receive an ember burst from an emitter, they will push the ember into the attached machine, no redstone required. Note that if ember is received, but the receptor can't take all of it, some of it will be lost, signified by a plume of smoke and sparks. To link emitters and receptors together, simply shift right-click the receptor with your tinker hammer and then right-click the emitter with the hammer. There is no distance limit to linking, but after an ember burst has been in transit for a while, it can fade away, losing all of the ember it carried. Oh, so there's no distance to linking, but there is a distance to how far you can send energy. Fair enough. Alright, this is really cool, and quite a bit more, well, in-depth than I was expecting. I guess I kind of was expecting something more along the lines of, I don't know, maybe Botania or Thaumcraft, rather than well, this is fairly technical. The ember is essentially like RF, but it obviously functions differently, and like mana in Botania, it's kind of like a cross between Botania and a more technical mod like immersive engineering. Interesting. Well, this is also telling me that we're going to need space and resources. As far as space goes, I mean, this is not necessarily a bad spot to start. Then again, there is that one spot with the lake that we found that goes all the way down to bedrock and is in the bedrock that we found in a previous episode. That would be a good spot. Where was that? Yeah, actually, I think that's probably the spot we want to start this properly. This was all just to test stuff out and see what was what. So, with that in mind, I think that's probably a waste of energy, but that's alright. I'm getting the feeling that we're going to just want more of the everything. The use of the stairs in that recipe is an interesting way of, like, forcing you to make a certain amount of Caminite. Where is you? So that's 7. Let's see, 8. 11 iron total to make one of these. Piece of redstone. And they need fuel. Okay, so yeah, I'm relatively certain it's these things that are making that noise. creepy, weird, creepy things. Well, that could have been... Oh. Oh, it's one of those. I don't remember what those are called, but, no thanks. Either way, that experiment did tell me a thing or two. For starters, it told me that getting into ore doubling with Embers is going to be a little further along than I thought. Not that that's in any way a bad thing, it's just is what it is. Oh, and of course it has to be nightfall. Okay, so first things first. We're definitely going to want more, well, iron, honestly. We can definitely make more Caminite. For sure. Plenty more. It's really the iron that's holding us up here. Like, I mean, again, the drawbridges ores are kind of probably too much, but I mean, still, we've got more than enough copper, even if we didn't have the drawbridges ores. I'd say more than enough tin. That's a half decent amount of lead now that I actually started mining for it properly. So really, we just need to go find more iron. I mean, we do have that 31. To be honest, what I really want to find is diamonds. We need, let's see, we have one there. Oh, interesting, diamond dust. So we actually have 2 there. That's a diamond pickaxe. So we would need 2 more. The reason I want that is to get fortune. If we, because you need 5 diamonds total to be able to, like, bare minimum, you need 5 diamonds to be able to make a crafting, enchanting thing. And the reason I want enchanting for fortune is because the geolysis ores are affected by, all of them are affected by fortune. So if we could just get 2 more diamonds. I went looking though, and I didn't find any. And the big problem is, like, we can kind of only go looking so far before dragons. But on the other hand, I don't really know how else to do it. I mean, I went through that strip mine, and it's got to be way out there somewhere. I know I was in the White Sands. I was checking as I went. I mean, theoretically, at some point, we're going to need to be able to fight the dragons. So maybe that's something we try and gear up toward? Okay, so I just found out that amount of charcoal that I did yielded precisely 7 buckets creosote. Well, I say precisely. There's probably some fraction of a bucket left in there, I imagine. But either way, did make these, and I had already made a warming liner some time ago, so yeah. This has 2 durability left anyway. So assuming the same amount again, we would need at least 3 more charcoal firing of the same size, oops, as that again, I think. That is, of course, assuming there's no, like, randomization for how much you actually get out of it, which I don't know. Of course, my main worry is that I'm going to attempt to gear up, you know, and get all of this stuff together, and then go and fight a dragon, and then just get, and then just kind of get turned into a charcoal briquette anyway, and then end up leaving all the gear that we just spent all that time putting together out somewhere guarded by a dragon. So, you know. Because, it'd be kind of nice to know more or less what we're up against when it comes to dragons, because I actually don't know. There was actually one other discovery I made when looking through here, is that there are actually different types of tools and weapons. Like, the same tools and weapons. Like, there's... That was the Embers one. Here's the Ice and Fire one, which is more attack against undead. And then there's the Mystical World stuff. And they all have slightly different values. Probably going to have to either separate out different recipes in some way, or just pick one, like, end product. I'm not sure. But I think we're going to need to do some more iron. And I mean, to be honest, 30 iron is actually enough to make iron armor. Actually, hang on a second. How does iron armor stack up against... It's 5, 6, 6 there, 5 there, 2 and 2, 2 and 2. Oh, it's the same. Well, equivalent anyway. The chest plate and leggings are the other way around with the hardened leather for some reason. That does reinforce my choice to actually go with this crafting recipe. Because, like, this doesn't require you to go mining in any way. So it's almost like an alternative to iron armor. I don't agree with the fact that hardened leather is the same as iron, but that's another matter entirely, and I don't think I have any ability to change, like, the armor values of stuff. And, like, attack and speed values, I don't think I can do anything with that, so it's basically kind of gotta use what we've got here, and, well, I mean, if it's essentially equivalent to iron armor, that definitely does make me all the more eager to actually, like, make that happen. Okay. Especially since, like, if with iron being kind of limited, at least, like, in the early game, I don't know how limiting in the long run this Geolysis mod is going to be. I don't think it's going to be too limited, I mean, or limiting. I mean, there are plenty of other ways of acquiring things. I mean, if nothing else, I'll just make a giant villager iron farm the vanilla way and call it good. Because 1.12... Yeah, I'm almost certain that there is some Tango Tech giant, ridiculous, crazy iron farm design I could use for this version. I mean, that would require villagers, but to be honest, that's another thing that just we need to be able to explore, and in order to be able to explore, we need to be able to deal with the dragons somehow. I did actually see this. I wonder, does it do anything? Why are there two different versions? But like, what does that mean, I wonder? Oh, I keep meaning to plant this birch sapling. Last episode, when we were out doing the prospecting, the testing with the prospector's pick, we did actually go past the desert into that birch biome over there. Just about got attacked by a dragon. The game was lagging so badly and the footage was not great, so I ended up just cutting it out almost entirely. But that is where that sapling came from. I just had a thought. Do we need to find more diamonds? Or do we need to just go break some more of those doodads? Because I've actually left quite a few of them alone. Like, I've only actually broken the ones in the areas where we've actually done stuff. So, like... Oh, did this finish? I think this just finished. But, like... Maybe we can just get lucky. And not need to find diamonds the normal way. Or, well, I guess it's not really the normal way, but the way you normally would with the Geolysis mod. Ooh. Although, I have to say, I swear these rocks multiply. Like, I don't think there were that many of these ones. I realize this is a bit of a just straight up luck thing, but I mean, theoretically, if we break enough of them. Of course, the problem is the sheer number of different things that you can get from them means that inventory space is a bit of a problem. Oh, that had better not be iron. Oh, of course it's iron. If that ain't just typical. Well, no luck so far, but, I mean, there are many of them. The big thing is, like I said, the inventory issue. There are some things that seem to be more common than others. Interestingly. But, I mean, as long as it's gonna be cold and raining, I don't see any reason not to just kind of poke through the desert for a little bit. I mean, like, literally all we need is 5 diamonds total, and we can totally get an enchanting setup. We have the levels. Ooh. No, that's a tiny pile. Oh. Actually, do we have... I don't remember. But, like, we have the levels, for sure. We can make books easily enough. Like, we had farmed quite a bit of this before it stopped growing. I mean, I know the season seems to be really short for it, but we did actually get quite a bit. So... I'm almost certain we can put together enough books. I see you. And even if we don't have the sugarcane for it, you can actually use the, oh, what's it called? The wild root. Yes. You can use the wild root to make paper. Oh, don't tell me that's... Yep. That's iron too. Dang it, that's just irritating. Oh, well, whatever. How close do you have to be to those things? I don't actually know. That looks like a rock on the other side of it. That's cool. That's way too close to it. Yeah, we'll just go ahead off this way. Refined corallium. Oh, that sounds not at all dangerous. Oh, there's iron here as well. Wow, I'm apparently really bad at this. All of those spots right near everything that we've been doing didn't even ended up going way out there to find iron. Well, whatever. You know, these things have chests. Maybe... do they have regular loot in them? I can't remember. If they do, there is potential for diamonds in one of those. Well, I mean, one tiny pile of diamond dust is still theoretically closer to a diamond. Oh, interesting. Well, either way, now it's not snowing. Let's see if we can put together some more of this armor. Okay, so either there is some randomization going on, or there is fractions of a bucket going on. Because that was 8. But yeah, that should be about 2 more of these, which, to be honest, is not too terrible. I mean, to be honest, it's charcoal. Like, we're going to use it. It's also ash. We're definitely going to use that. So it's not like we're going out of our way here to make something for a byproduct that we only want the byproduct. You know what I mean? Although, I'm not sure if I want to wear this just yet because we don't have the liner for it, but I'm not too sure what I feel about the gauntlet glove things on it, but the rest of it looks okay. It's not too shabby. I do appreciate the fact that it looks like there are plates almost of it, like interlocking on each other. That's yeah. And at least it doesn't look like some kind of soft, like, biker leather that you so often see presented as quote-unquote leather armor. However, we're going to not want to be using it just yet because we don't have all of the liners made for it. Or, well, a liner made for it. We're just slowly working our way through. To be honest, like, we could fix this problem real quick. Which, this right here is precisely why I made this recipe into this. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, right. You know what? Haha. Don't have enough to Whatever. Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's about gonna do it for this episode. We haven't really done a whole lot. Mostly it's just been me fiddling with all kinds of stuff, actually. But I do think we have a clearer idea of, like, what we're doing next. To be honest, the big thing that we discovered is that I'm freaking useless at just looking at the area just around our front door, and there's iron apparently all over the place. But we did do kind of get a little progress done in Embers. Sort of. I mean, we learned how to use the basics at the very least. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself here. Other than that, well, to be honest, yeah, nothing much happened. But, well, I don't know. Between episodes, what I think I'm going to do is go and break more of those, actually. Because I think that's, like, I had been getting into Embers earlier than I was expecting to, because I wanted the ore doubling. I hadn't actually realized that the Geolysis ore clusters are affected by fortune. Now that I am aware of that, I think getting an enchanting setup is going to be the way to go. 'Cause, like, that's the sugarcane we've got. It's 15 bookshelves for a complete enchanting setup in vanilla. However, we have this. The Apotheosis mod. And this has some changes to enchanting and enchanting setups. So I'm thinking, like, I'm going to, between episodes, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be reading up on that mod. I'm going to be, well, this mod. I'm going to be going out and seeing if I can find 2 more diamond dust, I think, is all we need. I think that's all we need. Unless we've got a random other diamond stored away, squirreled away in one of these chests. I don't think so. Fairly sure not. I might go down and check some of the dungeons we've cleared. The chests for those, just to double check. But yeah, I think an enchanting setup is going to be the next major step for progression. And also the armor is going to be helpful. If nothing else, this is worn ragged, so gonna need a replacement soon anyways. And having equivalent to iron armor, I mean, that works for me. It's a good job I finally remembered that that's a thing. Oh no, it uses it up. That's not what I meant. Oh. I'll have to fix that between episodes. That's not what I intended. But okay. Obviously I coded it wrong, or craft tweakered it wrong. That doesn't sound... Anyway, yes. Between episodes I will work towards that. And then next episode, I think we will go down to that cave. I think it's this cave entrance over here that leads down to that great big open pool down that way somewhere, I think it is. With the great big open pool and the great big huge cavern. And the water is like right down in amongst the bedrock. I think that'd be the perfect spot to start, like, properly doing Embers. And then, like, I mean, yes, we talked about the door in the mountain over that away. But, I mean, we'll just figure some way of connecting the two at some point. It's fine. But anyway, that is going to do it, I think, for this episode. Sorry it's been such slow progress these past several episodes. You can only really go as fast as time permits. Well, that's not entirely accurate, to be honest. I go way slower than is necessary, but I mean, that's kind of the speed that I do things, and, well, yeah. But, anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. And I do hope to see you next episode. I do, like, next episode want to properly set up a Embers, like, workshop thing. And start getting into that mod properly. So yes, that's the goal, that's the idea for next episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope to see you there. And if you have any ideas, or suggestions, or just thoughts in general, let me know. And anyway, thank you for watching. I think I said that already. I'm about to freeze. Take care. Have a good day. Farewell. Good grief, it's cold. Yikes.